Anthony Budo, Journey Evolution, and in this video, we are going to take a look at the quote, "Your labels don't limit me. They limit your experience of me." So are you ready? Let's go. Woo! All right, guys, let's jump right in. I love this quote. I want to start out by asking you, have you ever labeled someone based on your own perception? Or has anyone labeled you for no reason other than his or her own view? And if so, was it accurate or was it a false representation of who you really are? I want you to think about the labels that you may have put on people at one time or another, or the labels that maybe others have put on you. I want you to take a second and I want you to reevaluate those instances and how accurate were they? This quote sheds light on how quickly we limit our experience with someone or even a group of people because of the labels that we place on them based on our perception, beliefs, outside influences. It also limits people from appreciating us as well. We can learn so much from each other, but how often do we allow ourselves to do that? We immediately categorize someone as being a certain way before we even have a chance to get to know them. We use surface level judgments to come to a conclusion within our own minds of who that person is without any idea of knowing who they really are. And based on our conclusion, we then determine what our experience will be like from that moment forward. And I feel this severely limits ourselves from having deeper connections with people, as well as personal and societal growth because of this. Think of how often you've labeled someone based on some silly criteria that you made up in your own head, or maybe that you were taught by an external source. I want you to be honest with yourself. It's okay to admit it, because I've done it too. I still catch myself doing it. Now you may say, Anthony, you know what? There have been times where my initial labeling was actually accurate and it helped me from avoiding a bad situation. Yeah, and I totally understand that and I agree with you. If your intuition is screaming danger, or it's telling you that someone is not right, then I'm certainly not saying to ignore that. What I'm focusing on here are those instances where there may not have been any type of threat, but our own mental labeling system gave you a limited view. And also think of a situation where someone maybe labeled you, and that view was a complete misrepresentation of who you were as a person. And how did that make you feel? When we label, we limit. So moving forward, what do? That's a great question. From the moment that we're born, there are so many labels already predetermined for us by society, parents, education, peers. It becomes part of how we see and interact with the world. However, when we make a conscious choice to be aware of these labels, we begin to recognize when they start to limit our interactions with people. I want you to question if those labels are even valid in the context of how you're using them now. Just take a second and think of the connections that you can make with so many people when you're able to drop those labels. Leave labels for things like filing and clothing and not people. So leave me a comment and let me know. Tell me an experience where maybe you labeled someone for no reason other than your beliefs, your experiences in the past. And was it actually valid? Did you have a chance to actually get to know that person? And is what you thought of them actually true? And how often do you do that still today? And how does it affect your relationships with the people around you? I want you to leave me a comment and let me know. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. Together we become stronger individuals. Educate, engage, evolve, and I will talk to you soon.